Katseye Lara coming out, question mark? Again, NewJeans on hiatus, but Ador just wants to talk. Former Momoland member Daisy under fire for exposing idols. Or was this already common information? All that and more in today's episode of Totally Legit K-Pop News with me, Angelina. So if you're interested, please keep on watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. Also, go subscribe to my second channel. Follow me on Twitch. Everything linked below. I'm trying to do other things too, okay? Without further ado, let's get into today's video. My tomorrow is a brand new... Let's talk about Katseye Lara, who has expressed through Reverse that she has known that she was half a fruitcake since she was 8. Now, this may or may not come as a surprise. This is not a topic that she shied away from in the past previously. I mean, she went viral for giving a fan advice because their friends at school were hating them for being, quote, a little fruity. So here's what she said. I knew I was half fruitcake when I was like 8, so I was really wanting everybody. Honestly, probably before 8. Isn't half fruitcake such a good way to explain it without saying it? And she goes on to express that she thought this might affect her chances at debuting. You know, in Dream Academy, when it came out, I was really scared, to be honest. I didn't know if people would accept me, and I really thought it might ruin my chances of getting in. And then all of you were so nice about it, and it gave me so much love and support, and it made me feel confident in who I am, so I love you for that. Oh, and it continues, your coming out story. Let's not act like this is some big news. It seems she also left a voice memo talking about this. So Weverse is a paid app, right? So I don't know that I can necessarily react to this voice memo that she left, but she basically says, also being a girl who likes girls is such a different experience because a lot of people don't think that it's a real thing, or they fetishize it, which she goes on to say is super annoying. She goes on to say, but I get you guys because coming out can be really scary. She also says the way that fans found out is the same way that her family found out, through TikTok. So I'm wondering, what TikTok is she talking about? But she goes on talking about the TikTok comment, which we're gonna find. But she says that she knows that she doesn't give that she likes women, the way she dresses, the way she talks, and that she's felt her whole life that she's always had to brand it on her forehead, and that she would have to get like a tattoo of the flag or something. She also talks about how she was really scared, but now she's very grateful because fans, of course, have been so supportive. So some of the comments are saying, isn't she the first idol to come out? I believe it was Holland. Yeah, Holland is known as the first openly gay K-pop idol. Not to say that there are plenty, but let me read you some comments. Oh, my queen Lara Raj. Is Katseye finally not getting the K-pop treatment? I prayed for times like these. I didn't think Hybe would let her say this. I'm happy she can be open with us. I wonder how she convinced Hybe to let her be open about this. What TikTok comment is she referring to? Back in 2022, in a TikTok of her, someone asked if she liked women and she said yes, pretty much. So of course, let me know what you think about this situation. Of course, Katseye isn't technically a K-pop group, but they were created through a collaboration with Hybe, right? And they are 1000% within the K-pop spaces, performing on music shows, garnering a lot of K-pop fans. Let me know what you think. We need to talk about NewJeans. They have recently announced that they are going on hiatus. Now, let's do a little recap here. They were set to perform at ComplexCon Hong Kong as NJZ. I mean, according to them, they were independent. They were no longer contractually obligated to do anything with Ador. Ador, on the other hand, were like, absolutely not. But ComplexCon Hong Kong was supposed to be a type of NJZ debut. They were going to debut their new music as independent artists. However, a court ruled in Ador's favor to block their independent activities. Now, for Ador, they were more than willing to have NewJeans perform as NewJeans for NewJeans to continue promoting as NewJeans. But NJZ were not having it. However, they decided to continue on with their ComplexCon Hong Kong performance because they had promised to. They had promoted it to all their fans, so they didn't want to just back out like that. But during that performance, they actually announced their hiatus. So here's a snippet of it.
Out of respect for the court's decision, we've decided to pause all our activities for now, and it wasn't an easy decision. It wasn't an easy decision.
Okay, it's a little difficult to hear, but essentially out of respect for the court's decision, this would be their last performance for a while, but that they will be back. It feels heavy to deliver this news. Today's performance seems like it will be our last one for a while. We have decided to pause all activities for the time being in respect of the court's verdict. It wasn't an easy decision, but we believe it is a necessary one. We will be back no matter what after taking some time off to collect ourselves. We really want to greet you all with brighter smiles at that time. To everybody who has been believing in us and supporting us through everything. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you, and we love you so much. And we can't express how grateful we are because no matter the circumstances, we will meet again soon. We are always thankful and we love you. The 5 of us are always thinking of you. Please continue to stay healthy, eat your meals, and get enough sleep. This has been Minji, Hani, Danielle, Hedon, and Hayan. Thank you. And with that, it does seem that they actually did perform their new song called Pit Stop. But then Ador released a statement claiming that NewJeans unilaterally decided to go on hiatus. We consider it deeply regretful that in spite of the court's decision, NewJeans pushed ahead with performing under a different name instead of NewJeans and unilaterally announced that they would be halting their activities. In accordance with Ador's valid exclusive contract, we would like to do our utmost for NewJeans. We hope that we can meet with the artists as soon as possible and discuss their future. So Ador is just maintaining their point that they still want to work with NewJeans, they still want to talk with NewJeans, and so on. And from there, we also saw the members announce legal action against malicious commenters, with their legal representatives basically saying, currently the circulation of false information, malicious slander, and insulting posts against our clients, which include minors, have reached a serious level. In response, we're continuously monitoring all online communities and social media platforms, including the Coup, Instas, Blind, X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, DC, Inside FM Korea, and Dom Cafe. We're also working with relevant authorities to identify the authors of posts and comments exploiting anonymity, and we will take all possible civil and criminal actions against acts such as the circulating of false information, defamation, insults, and more. Now, NewJeans have been embroiled in a bit of controversy regarding a fan that they had met up with, it seems. I don't know if you guys have heard about the TalyTokki situation. This has actually been a huge discussion on Twitter. I wasn't sure if I should talk about it. For example, this post talking about it has 19 million views. Basically, the admin of the page, TalyTokki, had some DMs leaked where she was talking to NewJeans, where it seems she met up with NewJeans as well. Here's the alleged conversation. It seems TalyTokki says no plans. And NewJeans is saying, maybe if you're okay, I can see you near Hybe. I have to be there by before 2 p.m. anyways, with TalyTokki responding, okay, I'll head over. NewJeans apparently saying, really? What time roughly do you think you'll be there? I can be there by 1 something. NewJeans apparently saying, I'm here, or at the front or back of the building. And then TalyTokki saying, Hani and Danny, thank you so much. And them responding, it was lovely to meet you. Have a safe flight back tonight, Hani. So nice meeting you. Stay safe. Love you always. Danielle. Then it seems there's more DMs leaked as well. Something about probably not, has to be monitored by our managers or CEO, so sorry. Not really sure what that's in reference to, but also saying we all love you unconditionally. It seems NewJeans even gave them a gift. But then we see other interactions. TalyTokki tweeting, NewJeans plan to work with Minhyejin as soon as possible if it's allowed. Minhyejin liking this message that TalyTokki sent, Minhyejin reposting her story, and then interactions between Jeans for Free and TalyTokki here. Danielle's sister liking her post, allegedly some gifts that NewJeans gave her. So here's the story as I understand it. The issue isn't necessarily meeting up with the fan, but rather people bringing up other things that TalyTokki has said in the past that they don't appreciate. But then you also had people defending her saying, well, actually she was quite supportive of those groups. And like I mentioned, this became a huge thing to the point that TalyTokki actually released an apology. In early November 2024, I privately shared details about the time I spent with NJZ/NewJeans members in Korea with 6 bunnies on X. I mean, the leak of this shared information has caused distress to the members and many bunnies. I sincerely apologize for this. It was selfish and irresponsible. I let my excitement cloud my judgment and didn't fully consider the consequences. So she directly apologizes to Hani and Danielle, who were in the DMs, right? Who basically signed off in the DMs and who were in the picture as well. I also want to apologize to all the bunnies who have trusted me. I especially apologize for causing damage to the members' image with unexpected controversy during this legally sensitive time and for placing an additional burden on the bunnies who have already endured various difficulties over the past year. Since that meeting, I have not had any private contact with any NJZ/NewJeans members, including Hani and Danielle. Contrary to what some claim, I do not know them personally, and there is no connection between myself and NJZ/NewJeans. They showed great kindness and openness in meeting me, which stemmed from NewJeans members' genuine love and care for their fans, regardless of who I am or what I have done. Furthermore, the claim that this meeting was connected to Twitch streamer Jason is not true. I was seeing some pictures of TalyTokki and Jason outside of the Hive building. I believe that's what this is referring to. I met Hani and Danielle a few days after appearing on his Twitch stream on my last day in Korea, and Jason had nothing to do with how I came to meet them. Also, I have not had any involvement with Jason and his trip to Japan in December 2024. I was in the United States. I visited Japan that year in early November, directly after my visit to Korea. I'm not making excuses for my actions, and I take full responsibility for breaking their trust. It was never my intention to hurt anyone, but I understand how it came across, and I won't try to defend myself. Therefore, I ask that you please respect the members' privacies. They have no involvement in this situation. There's also a lot of misinformation circulating about me. During my nearly 2 years in the K-pop community, I have never spoken negatively about any artists. My criticism were always directed at Hive, Belief Lab, and Source Music. My goal has always been to correct misinformation, and when discussing groups other than NJZ/NewJeans, I encouraged criticism of companies, not the artists. NJZ/NewJeans members and fans worldwide have been suffering for over a year from criticism and fake news, spread by the media and some malicious K-pop fans. My content was created after strict fact-checking to help the troubled community as a fan, and my activities in the NJZ/NewJeans fan community were also based on this goodwill. I built my platform with this mindset and worked hard to earn everyone's trust. My belief has always been that no idol should receive unfair treatment like others, and I posted videos with sincerity and responsibility according to that belief, which you can verify directly in various parts of my videos. That's why I ask you not to believe everything you hear about me until I have the chance to explain. Once again, to Hani and Danielle, I am so sorry. Of course, as always, let me know what you think about this situation. Let's talk about former Momoland member Daisy, because she is on thin ice with K-pop stans. She recently revealed some inside information about idols going on hiatus due to injuries, and how it might not be because they're actually injured, but because they might be getting plastic surgery. In my hiatus meeting, they told me that the article that's coming out is going to say that you were on hiatus because of health issues, and that literally sent me over the edge. I told them that if they're going to put out an article like that, I'm going to tell the entire world that it's a big fat lie. So as a result, my article just said that it was for personal reasons. Same goes for injuries. The official statement may say like a fractured arm or leg, and the idol would show in a cast, crutches, but sometimes they're completely fine and they just got a new set of titties. So this tweet alone got 12 million views, and you can imagine K-pop stans were not happy. Basically, fans are upset because it's like now there'll be a spotlight on idols who may be on hiatus due to injuries. People might think that they're getting plastic surgery, which will result in hate. You get the gist, right? You know, it's not your first rodeo, is it? But I've been seeing this absolutely everywhere. I don't care why idols go on hiatus, like that will always be personal for them, but I feel like she just kind of opened a window for fans to be invasive and overall annoying about the topic. Great, now if any idol goes on hiatus for genuine reasons, people will just assume the worst and start slut shaming them. But could she not keep that last line to herself? Coming from a group who got massive amounts of hate online, you'd think she'd be a little more conscious saying things that reinforces people's misogyny and hate on female idols, lol. But there are some people who feel like stans are overreacting a little bit. It's literally not her fault that K-pop stans hate female idols. She should be able to speak about her experience. We need to let go of the idea of setting people up. She is not responsible for how others respond to her actual lived experience. People in the quotes, "I hate her, stop talking about K-pop. The industry is incredibly effed up and she has every right to discuss it. If it shatters your little fantasy, too bad." Let me know what you think of the situation, because it's kind of like a double-edged sword, right? Everybody wants to know inside information on how the K-pop industry works. But then when we get that inside information, or if it's not perfectly explained in the correct way, then fans get mad. But what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that this will lead to hate towards other idols? Do you think it's just her personal experience? And if people are gonna choose to use that information to hate on other idols, that's on them. Let me know your thoughts. Let's move on to Kpop Shenanigans, which are basically fun little things that have happened to K-pop recently and or quick news. There's this show called Under 15, which has garnered a lot of backlash because, as you can imagine, the contestants are under 15. In fact, some of them are 8 years old. It seems that despite all the backlash, the show is going to air regardless, with them saying that all the contestants that applied to be on the show did so with the consent of their guardians, that they followed guidelines and protocols, that they took into account costumes and styling, that they didn't exceed the allowed working hours, that it didn't affect their schooling, and so on. One of the comments reads, "Yeah, unless the kids are singing children's songs, I don't want to watch it." Stacy have announced a world tour, and here's where they're going. Meow have announced their fandom name. I'm gonna react to it in real time with you. Let's see. Pom Pom? Okay, wait. The name Pom Pom is a combination of the word pomme, which means apple in French. Pom, pomme. Close enough, as well as the English word paw, referring to a cat's paw. What is it? Okay, apple of my eye. Pom pom. Pom pom. Pom pom. Written in Korean makes more sense. Pom pom. Pom pom. Pom. I'll take it. And then Stray Kids Hyunjin made a donation to support pediatric and adolescent patients. So he donated approximately $68,000 to cover costs of surgeries, transplants, and emotional support programs for pediatric and adolescent patients undergoing treatment at the hospital. So yeah, that is basically it for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. These are the lovely individuals who help support my channel on a monthly basis. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. As for me, I'm gonna get going. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.